Hello everyone, and by the way, this video is not a clickbait. I will jump into the video straight away. And the two books that is behind me, one called The Age of Migration and the other one is The Deportation Regime. I'm sorry that I'm filming today with the phone horizontal, but anyhow, if you are watching me on YouTube. So yes, it's not a clickbait, and the reason why I'm putting this books because it's absolutely related to the topic. So for people who do not know me, I'm Jasmine. I'm Egyptian living in Sweden, and I have an Egyptian son and Swedish son, and we live in southern Sweden. So what happened to my son? Here we go, the story time begins. So my lovely son was playing with his friend. My son is 16 years old. He was playing in front of our building with a water gun with his other friend, who happens to be black. He had a black friend, a white Swedish friend. Yes, we are going to be very clear about ethnicity and race in this video. So the thing is, when they were playing with the water gun, and you know, water gun are big plastic colorful things because they are for children. He is 16, he likes to do silly things. What happened is, he find, let's say like the SWAT team, 4 SWAT cars in front of my window, stopping him with guns and asking him to put his hand up and spread his legs and and then they pushed him to the ground. I just want to be very clear, there was no violence at all at that point. What happened is, there was they have searched him, and then they got people with big rifles, yes, in Sweden, with big rifles, because a Karen has called the police to say that there were young people with guns in the street. Yes. A quick update that in 2 months ago, there was one shooting that happened in Stockholm, near Stockholm, in Örebro. It is considered the worst shooting in the Swedish history. And by the way, it was done by a white Swedish man. This man went to a migration school. People who are studying there to be having professions. These immigrants go to this school to be studying. Most of these people were working, but you're still working on your language, so you can be raising or getting promotion, or to be proceeding your education in university. And this white Swedish man have killed 11 Middle Eastern people in the school. This is a story for another day. By the way, the Swedish authority didn't call it terrorism. They called it, of course, an isolated incident. Although, of course, the ABC terrorist attack is anything when you are threatening a person because of their race or color or ethnicity. So anyhow, so my son, this thing with his water gun happened less than 1 month after the attack by the Swedish guy to the immigrants, killing 11 people. As I said, this is considered the worst shooting in Sweden. And by the way, the mass shooting that happens in Europe, when you check it, it's mostly is white people, not Middle Eastern or Muslims. But story for another day. Anyhow, my son said, "What's happening? What's happening?" He said, "Oh, your gun." She said, "What gun?" "It's a water gun." Water gun, wow. And then they realized that it's a water gun. And then they kept detaining him for 2 hours because they had to call for another security team with their dogs to be searching the whole area for potential bombs. Yes. And then his friend, because unfortunately the black people are used to be under threat anywhere, so his friend ran away very quickly, and he was having another water gun, so it took them time to find him. But we do not know why he was just scared, because it is inherited trauma for black people. Police is always threat, and they know that most of the time they will be culprit even if they didn't do anything. So it's, as we always say, it's a trauma that passed from one generation to another. So one of the reasons why he has to be detained is by the police cars is because they have to find his other friend he ran away and he hid, and then till they get the dogs to be sniffing the whole area and to be checking any bombs. And then even when they checked that there is nothing at all with him, and it was a plastic water gun, and they found his friend, and the dogs have sniffed around and they have confirmed that there is no bombs or that is being placed in any of the trash bins or anything. They had to come in the flat, 3 men. They are all of them are armed, to come into the flat and to be searching every corner of the flat in case there are any other weapons. What I will say here, to be very fair and non-biased, the police did their job. You had a Karen, a white woman, who found one black boy, and my son looks very Middle Eastern, and another, so one black boy, a Middle Eastern boy in the street. And our street, our area that we live in is a very safe, nice, well integrated. Everyone in this area is having jobs, and the flats around are expensive, and so it's a very good area. So it's not a vulnerable place or a ghetto or anything. So my non-biased feedback: 1, you had a Karen. If she was even blind, she will know, and she couldn't see the plastic colorful water guns. If anyone had guns, shouldn't she will hear shooting? Okay, wouldn't be anyone in the street screaming? You didn't see anything. You didn't hear someone screaming. You didn't hear any shooting. You didn't see bullets flying right and left. Nothing. So you used our tax money that we are paying to be wasting the police time and calling them. The police came wasting 2 hours. And they had to do that. It's their call of duty. They have to come and see what's happening again, especially because there was the Örebro, the mass shooting that happened by the white Swedish person against the immigrants just a month ago. So at that time, everyone is up on their toes. So you wasted the time where the police can be doing something more important. Maybe there is real incidents somewhere else. Now they are having less staff because with the staff that we are having, they are wasting their time with my son, who is playing with his friend with a water gun. This is 1. 2. The police was very respectable. They were strict, firm, but they were very respectful. They didn't harm my son in any way. And when I say harm, because of the violence, you see, of course, horrible videos how the police are treating immigrants, especially, and the brutality and the disrespect to the person. They were firm, but they didn't do anything to harm him. So this is the second thing, to be very neutral and non-biased. 3, when they came into the flat and raided the flat, they didn't cause any damage. Of course, we also see sometimes how when the police come in, how they can make your place upside down, and they can literally destroy it, almost destroy it, because sometimes they have to open the mattresses, they pull everything from the closet, they can be clearing all the bookshelves. They didn't do anything like this. They have did a very deep search, but in a very organized, respectable way, where it can you feel good that when they left, you feel that they didn't violate you. Again, they did the search in a way that you do not feel that your place is being violated. So I will say chapeau to the Swedish police here. The third thing, or the fourth thing, so we said that first of all, about the police who came, wasted their time. The second thing, the way they have treated my son. The third thing, about how they raided my flat. The fourth thing, my son told them, we are living in so it's you can consider it like a compound. It's not a compound, but consider it like a compound with buildings, and there's a garden in the middle, big garden, common space for all the buildings. He told them, now you could say I do not have anything. It was called a water gun. Please, if you are going to get into my flat, do not be holding me, do not be putting me on cuffs or anything, and do not show your guns, because I do not want to be seen like this in front of my neighbors. They were very respectable. They said, no, do not worry. So the police officers that came with him, they were wearing civilian clothes, not police, not the police uniform, because they were a mix of people. Yeah. The fifth thing, which is also something I will say chapeau to the police department, or the police in Sweden in this case. After everything happened, although they confiscated my son water gun, which is actually my younger son water gun. This is because my small son is very sad that he couldn't find his gun anymore, but we didn't want to tell him what happened to it. The fifth thing is that before they leave, they had a very good talk and chat with my son to explain to him why they had to do this, why they needed to go in these steps, why did they have to be following this protocol, what is going on in the police nowadays, or how is the environment in the police departments nowadays because of what happened after the Örebro or the Stockholm shooting. And they had a very deep, detailed, again, respectable conversation with my son before they leave. And actually, my son, when he left after this thing, he couldn't go to school the next day. He was so, his dopamine, his cortisol, his endorphin, his everything was up in the sky. He was so much overwhelmed because of thinking of everything. But my son was left with this experience, with this thing. When they talked to him about why they had to be doing this raid to the flat, or to detain him for 2 hours and bring the more SWAT cars and dogs and everything, he was so much able to relate to what they are saying. He doesn't see them as the enemy. But this is the problem with immigrants and the police. We see the police are the enemy. For me, I'm studying international migration and ethnic relations because I'm preparing my master's in criminology. I will explain this later, but I'm having my bachelor's degree in international migration and ethnic relations. Because because I wanted to be studying this to help me in my master's degree in criminology, to see the relationship between migration and crime, and is it true or it is just fake news. But anyhow, I'm sorry, I'm always drifting here and there. So when he left the police, he felt that he had the chance to have like an adult conversation with the police, and he felt that he was well respected, and he felt that he was included. So it's not okay. We finished. We did that. We have this. We have waste. Of course, like a teenager. Also, like he feels that his pride was wasted in front of the street because, of course, it was seen. It's like a real scene. Everyone is looking, or he felt that he was humiliated, or he felt that he was patronized, or there was a condescending way. We are the Swedish police and you are an immigrant. You know, they will not tell you are an immigrant, but you understand the energy. He didn't feel like this at all. He felt respected. All I want to say here from this video, that we need more immigrants all over the world. Highly skilled, educated immigrants, because we need immigrants to be working in all sectors in the country, in every country, because the thing is, when you think about it, the real people who destroyed the countries are the white people, not the Middle Eastern. The people, they are always afraid of immigrants. But France, Portugal, of course, United States, Israel, Russia. When you look to everything, England, when you think through the last 500 years, or just 500 years, you will see that the immigrants left their countries because of what the white person or the Caucasian have done to their countries. Otherwise, we were living very, very happily in our countries with no problem. We didn't have any reason to leave. But why you left, how you left our countries, you have sucked everything in it. You have absolutely robbed our wealth. You have caused civil wars there. You have used all kind of weapons, or chemical weapons, or biological weapons, real bullet weapons, and everything. And it wasn't us who have came to take your country over. You came to our country. You robbed us from our countries. That's why we have to leave. And now we are immigrants, and then we are looked at as the people who are coming to be sucking your economy. But anyhow, this is also a story for another video. But I would say at the end of this video that thank you to the Swedish police department. And this Karen, I just want to be spitting on your face, because my dear, Middle Easterns are not the one who do the mass shooting, and you can be checking the statistics. We are not the one who are holding guns, killing everyone everywhere. Thank you so much, and see you in my next video. Hey do.